Going live. You're live. Well, I'm live, not you're live, but. Hey, welcome to another episode of Chad's Beer Reviews on our live stream, which I should have been doing years ago. So, another re-review. Classic Trappistes Rochefort 10. I always thought it was 12. It's Westy 12, not. And Rochefort 10. Although I believe they use the same yeast, or very similar, but. Yeah, so Belgian strong dark ale or dark strong ale, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, it's weird because like there's the double, the triple, even in BJCP specs, but there's no quad, even though that's what we call it. I just call it Belgian strong dark ale because it kind of allows for like some of them you can have spices, and it says as long as the spices are like garnish, they're acceptable, they're allowable, but it's like if it's like super heavily spiced, then it has to be a spice or vegetable beer. Anyway, got this bottle at Total Wine. Let's see. Looks like it was bottled. It says 06/12/2021. So I don't know if that's June 12th or December 6th. It's probably December 6th because it's European. They always go day, month, year. And my cat just jumped up on the desk here. So let's. Yep, classic Belgian-y aromas. Very fruity. Almost like a little chocolatey too. Almost get like a little bit of like a Tootsie Pop in here. Tootsie Roll. But otherwise, it's just kind of like the Belgian candy syrup. One thing, if I go up on a little of a soapbox here, is that I think the Belgian strong dark ales, and even the doubles, because they're made with that date syrup, that Belgian candy syrup, it seems like they're like super complex, but it's actually like a very simple malt bill. And actually, I left my phone, but look up BJCP. Oh man, I should know this off the top of my head. What style is this? Just look up whatever Belgian. I think it's 24, 25. It'll say in the notes, like towards the end, it'll say most people think these beers are very complex, but they're actually it's true. They have a very simple malt palate, just like base malt, a little bit of specialty malt, and then maybe you throw some spices in there. Otherwise, the candy syrup and the yeast esters are doing everything. So again, yeah, it's like the dark fruit. I'm like if you've ever been to a brewery, especially a Belgian brewery or American brewery that makes Belgian style beers, and you've ever seen, or even if you're a home brewer, go to a homebrew store, ask to see or taste the candy syrup, and like as soon as you smell it or taste it, every time you see or have a beer like this, then you'll know. So yeah, to me, this just smells like the syrup. It's like really fruity, a little chocolatey. It's not quite as spicy as most. In fact, the nose on this one it seems kind of diminished. I'm hoping this bottle isn't like heat damaged. Classic. I know it's not green on that's from the green screen, but yeah, I don't know how this looks on camera. It's a really, really dark brown maroon kind of color, pretty hazy, and it did have, 2 fingers of foam there when I first poured it. It's actually kind of a shame that it's didn't stick around. So let's dig in here. Cheers. I haven't had this beer in a long time. I have to look up on Untapped to see when's the last time I had it. By the way, if you guys are watching live, write something in the chat. It'll show up on the screen right here. So just say hi and it'll show up. Yeah, I think there is a little bit of spoilage to this one. It's nice because at first, like I'm getting, like I said, kind of like a Tootsie Roll kind of flavor, a little bit of chocolatey thing there, and then just kind of the candy syrup, kind of like a date, cherry, fig, like those kind of darker fruits. I'm not getting apple, and I'm not getting like Not getting any green fruits like apple or pear, and I'm not really getting anything grape either. And there is a spiciness there, but there's also a phenol there from what to me it feels like contaminated yeast or I don't know if I'd go as far as to say butyric acid, but there is some kind of something off on here. It's a little musty. Some of that could be the alcohol. You know, it's 11.3. It's pretty strong beer, but it's not. You know, it's not like I'm breathing fire. It's not. By the way, I'm looking at the bottom of this bottle here. I don't know if this is gonna show up on camera, but you can see the yeast cake. It's just all curded up to the bottom of the bottle. So I don't think it was contaminated after bottling, because if it was, it probably this bottle would have ruptured. You know, this would have been a gusher. But when the head just fizzles away like that, like a soda, I expect that with sours because of the high acidity. This type of beer should actually hold a head. You ever heard the term Belgian lacing? Man, this thing's really effervescent too. So, yeah, there's contamination of some sort in here. Maybe there's some wild yeast. So there's a little bit of a, I hate to say it, there's a little bit of a pukey quality here. 2 people watching. Somebody say hi in the chat. I will say that the base flavor, everything that's supposed to be here is accounting for like maybe 80% of the flavor, and like that off flavor is like maybe 20, maybe even 90-10, or maybe even 95-5. But whatever that off flavor is, like, it's enough to notice. It's enough to be distracting. I mean, I like the fruity flavor. I like that little bit of a chocolatey thing. A little bit of the spicy phenols. Like there's good phenols and there's bad phenols. The good phenols are the ones you get in Belgian beers like this. That is kind of it's kind of like a peppery kind of sensation. And the bad phenols are when you get like Band-Aid, like rubbing alcohol, something like that. If you want to become BJCP judge, you have to, get How to Brew by oh man, I forgot the dude's name. John Palmer, or The Joy of Homebrewing, Charlie Papazian. Basically, those 2 books are your textbooks, and they go into the chemistry 101 of brewing. You don't have to be like an actual chemist or have a degree in microbiology or anything like that, but you just have to know like the basics of the chemistry and the microbiology. So this is still drinkable. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's kind of an ugly, muddy kind of appearance. But I mean, that's because I just poured the bottom of the bottle in. But it was pretty muddy even before that. Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of a shame, because if you can get this beer fresh, or if you can just get a like really well conditioned bottle, it's a 45 to 50 point beer for the style, and just end of enjoyment too. This particular bottle, I think it's probably just, I don't know if it's I think the flaws that I'm picking up here are probably more from handling. I mean, it had to come all the way from Belgium. It's not like they contract brew this in America, at least not as far as I know. But it's made by monks in Belgium. At least I think it still is. That'd be hilarious, though. Had the Trappist beers contract brewed in America, or I mean anywhere really, but but it's just something about, I think it's just the yeast, because like you can get like 𝓑𝓮𝓮𝓮𝓬𝓻𝓲 or Boulevard, or like New Belgium. I'm just trying to think of like American breweries that do Belgian style beers, and it's not quite the same. I mean, they have like their own pros and cons, but having the real thing, and especially if you can get the real thing at the source, Yeah. It's funny. This is way more chocolatey than it usually is. Usually it's more like leather and, spice and fruit. It's funny. It has a nice kind of Christmassy kind of flavor to it. But, I kind of like that Tootsie Roll flavor. But, yeah, it's a little disappointing. So, I mean, this is a world-class example of the style. It's just that this particular bottle is not that good. I wouldn't want this to be somebody's first foray into the style. Like, even for me, I'm thinking... I'm trying to think if I'm even going to rate this. Like, like I said, if we're rating it to style, I mean, this production, this product is, like I said, 45 to 50 point beer. This particular bottle is high 20s, low 30s. So, I'm enjoying it, but the whatever that off thing is, it's just a little distracting, and yeah, so I thought this was going to be an awesome beer, but it's just only okay. So yeah, and as it warms up, I'm getting like more of that phenolic off taste. It's almost like salty or something. I don't know. I made a homebrew Belgian style of this style. It was like a 1 gallon brew that I did years ago, and it had like the same kind of off flavor as this. So I'm flashing back to that. So, all right. If you watch all the way to the end, you are awesome. Thanks for watching. I don't know when I'm going to post again, but stick around. Oh, I should have been doing this a while ago. Like, subscribe,